Hello friends! Have you recently filed for divorce and now find yourself thinking, so now what am I supposed to do? Well, we've got you covered. Today we are going to offer some suggestions as to the best ways that you as a client can help your attorney during a divorce. Welcome back to the Divorce Broadcast. My name is Manny Segarra, coming to you from Miami, Florida. Alright, so one of the benefits of doing what I do for a living is that you come across people from all kinds of diverse backgrounds, whether it be economically or culturally or religiously or racially or whatever, wherever they come from. You get to meet and interact with people from all over. What's interesting is that when people file for divorce, a lot of times they have different reactions as to how they integrate or react with the process. Some people are very active, some people are very passive, some people shut down and need to go to therapy. So there are a lot of different ways that people handle the divorce process. So thought it would be good information to kind of give some suggestions as to what are some effective or good ways to interact with your attorney as a client in a divorce case. First, you have to be patient. Understand that divorce cases, unless there's an agreement right away, they take a little bit of time. That's right. Unfortunately, these cases can take 6 months to a year, even 2 or 3 years, and sometimes even longer to complete. So remember, you may have been married 20 years. It's going to take more than 2 or 3 weeks to dissolve your marriage, especially depending upon how much stuff there is, if there's kids involved, and things of that nature. A good rule of thumb takes anywhere between 6 months to a year, year and a half from the date that a case is filed to eventually go to mediation. But a lot of it depends on how the parties cooperate with each other and how the attorneys cooperate with each other. In addition to this, remember that the courts are extremely busy and they're a little bit backlogged based upon the sheer amount of cases that are pending. There are cases in Miami-Dade County. They're setting them, if they're not emergencies, 2 or 3 months out down the road. And that's just the nature of how many cases are in the system. The judges work really hard to try to keep an eye on their docket and try to keep the numbers right. However, it is difficult because there's so many cases, so you have to be patient. Number 2, be diligent. And what does that mean? That means look at your emails. If your attorney sends an email, look at it, respond to it, organize and gather the relevant documents. Well, here, a lot of times in these types of cases, there is an ongoing obligation to hand over financial discovery. So assist your attorney and his or her staff in collecting all of your financial records, bank statements, tax returns, property documents, and any other relevant paperwork. What we do is we give out a checklist and then we have follow-up calls with the clients to try to make sure that they are diligent and getting on top of their stuff. In addition to this, if your attorney sends you a request or an email for a certain document, let's say it's a retirement account statement, well, don't sit around. Make a list of what they need for you and track that document down. In addition to this, review any drafts that your attorney sends you timely. A lot of times clients want to see either motions or drafts of certain documents in a case, certain filings in a case. If your attorney gives it to you, don't sit on it for a couple days. Make sure that you are diligent about offering revisions or feedback on the drafts, especially if you ask for it. This is a really important one. Be prepared for meetings. There's nothing more frustrating than when we're having a trial prep meeting or a mediation preparation meeting. The client shows up and they don't even know what's happening. Well, think about it. If you know if you're going to go see your attorney to prepare for a trial, start writing a list and email the attorney about the things that you want to talk about. All of these suggestions can help you save time and help your attorney prepare properly for the case. Here's another big one. Do not engage in behavior that will negatively impact your case. We did a whole video on the things to do and not do to hurt your case. Well, we're just going to touch upon them a little bit in this video, but there are certain behaviors that you can engage in that will hurt your case. Any type of illegal behavior. Don't go committing crimes. Substance abuse. If you all of a sudden start using drugs or if you start abusing alcohol. Domestic violence. Don't get involuntarily hospitalized. Don't commit crimes against your children like child abuse, or maybe consider not having an affair. Another nugget of advice that is a corollary to what we just talked about is try to avoid engaging in any conduct that is contrary to what your claims are in your case. In other words, let's say that you're asking the court to give you custody and time sharing with your kids. Well, now is not the time to be caught on video engaging in some sort of violent conduct, or stalking somebody, or using corporal punishment on your children. Avoid that. For example, if you are requesting alimony, now's not the time for you to be hanging out with your paramour, going on vacation or luxury trips or buying luxury goods. That doesn't look good in a court of law. Another example, if you are asking the court to give you full and exclusive use of a marital residence or the home that you lived in, don't vandalize the marital residence. These are just some examples of doing the things that are contrary to what you are asking for in your petition, because they can be tracked down by the opposing attorney and they can be used against you in court to stop you from getting what it is that you're actually asking for. The next one is a little bit of a controversial one, and that is leave the lawyering to the lawyers. If you decide to hire an attorney, let the attorney do their job. Specifically, let them file the petitions, the motions, and all of the documents in the case. If you want to have feedback, that is absolutely appropriate. You ultimately have the say as to what direction the case goes into. However, you are probably not an attorney, so it is very important to strongly consider the advice that they give you and listen to it. Pay close attention to your attorney's instructions. It is oftentimes, and I tell this a lot to my clients, and I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff for you. A lot of times, what your attorneys tell you is something you may not want to hear. But remember, they are not emotionally invested or attached to your case. They see it from a little bit further perspective. Next up, be transparent with your attorney and provide them with all of the necessary details about your marriage, your assets, your debts, and any relevant documents, including the stuff about your kids. And I said all of it, meaning you gotta tell them the good, but if you have any skeletons in the closet, let your attorney see those skeletons, because this will help your attorney build as strong a case as possible and will put them in a position in which they will make informed decisions regarding what is happening in your case. Maintain an open and honest communication with them. Share your concerns, your objectives, and any updates relating to your case. Make sure that you check in regularly with your attorney. Email is a great tool. Word of caution though, you don't want to email them 5 times a day, 7 days a week, because it's kind of hard to keep up with that type of email chain. Finally, practice self-care. It is so important for you to take care of yourself, both mentally and physically, during a divorce proceeding, as divorces can become emotionally challenging, and taking care of your well-being is paramount. Seek support from your friends, your family, and a therapist. Therapy is a huge thing, and you guys know that we did a whole video on how to properly outlet the energy when you're going through a divorce proceeding, so make sure that you check out our previous videos. But nevertheless, by managing your emotions in a thoughtful way, you can better assist your attorney. I know that during a divorce proceeding, there are a lot of emotions regarding the kids. Maybe the relationship ended prematurely for one of the parties. So it is important to get your mind right so that when the time comes to try to settle your case, that you are in a good mental space to make this decision, because it's going to last a lifetime for you. All right, that's a wrap on suggestions for how to best assist your attorney during a divorce proceeding. If you know anyone that might find this information useful, have them look us up at www.segarralawfirm.com. We have offices in Miami and Orlando, Florida. Se habla español, and do us a favor, please like this video and subscribe to the Divorce Broadcast. We will see you all soon.